Hey everybody, Dylan from Noblerecordstore here, coming at you with another video. I've seen this vinyl tag going around. I did one last year. This is vinyl tag 2019. I don't know who comes up with these, but they're pretty good questions. So I thought, what the heck, might as well go for it. So I got a nice juicy stack of wax here on my lap. First question is best vinyl find of this year, last year, 2018. And I shared this on my last video. There's a white label promo of Led Zeppelin 1. You can't beat it. That was a crazy, lucky find for me. Second question was shoutouts in the VC. So I kind of broke these up into two different sections. I really liked how Steve Carlson did it. He only included people that had less than 200 subscribers. I had a lot of people ask me all the time, like, I want to learn more about psych and a little, deeper music and stuff. So here's some channels to check out that really kind of filled my head with knowledge in the beginning. The number one is Matt Sand's channel. He does, him and Sam, the psych professor, they do awesome videos about records that they find and really informational stuff about psych. But his channel is called Matt Sand's Hog's Ear Report. Ron, he's just a wealth of knowledge. I'll talk about him a little bit later also. Earhead 6 Bo, his name of his channel is Earhead 6. He is just awesome. He finds the coolest stuff and is the nicest guy and has just great advice about music and information and everything. Vinyl Richie, I'm sure you guys all subscribe to him, but if you don't, his name is Vinyl Richie. Check him out. He has a good mixture of punk rock and psych rock and everything in between. He's a really great guy. Zeke Vinyl Geek, he is great. He's a really nice guy, and the guy has like more records than you've ever seen in your life, and he's a genius. He has he knows more about records than I ever will. He's awesome. Dead Wax 66, his name's Randy. He's got an awesome channel. I'm sure you guys all subscribe to all these people, but if you don't, check him out. Randy, he's an awesome guy. There's one called Sublime, I guess I say it, Sublime Media. It's like Sublime without the E. Sublime Media, it's all one word. But he has like Swedish psych, UK psych, all different types of psych, but he's got like the most insane collection I've ever seen in my life. The guy has, he's just awesome. I just discovered his channel maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and man, he's just, all his videos are just like all killer, no filler. Tales from the Crate, I'm sure you guys all subscribe to him. He's awesome. He's got a crazy collection. Really good dude. And Dallas Pez, he doesn't have a whole lot of subscribers, but I'm sure if you're into psych, you probably already subscribed to him. He just found some crazy grails. So Dallas, if you're watching this, super jealous. Here's some like newer ones. Smokestack Records. He's in Tennessee. He's I'm not that far from him. We're planning to meet up here pretty soon, but he just started his channel, and I'm sure he's going to grow in popularity really quickly. Smokestack Records. He's awesome. Young kid's got a wealth of knowledge about records. Bob Bradley. I just started following him or subscribing to him. He's a really interesting guy. Got a great personality. Talks about old guitars and records, which is like my sweet spot. So really like his channel. Tunes from the Man Cave. My friend Chris. He is awesome. If you want to know anything about jazz, Chris is like knows everything there is to know about jazz. Chris is awesome. Tunes from the Man Cave. Vinyl Fuzz. Vinyl Fuzz. If you don't follow him, he's 14 years old, has an incredible psych collection, knows a lot more about psych and prog than I did when I was 25. I mean, the kid, he knows a lot. So, I mean, when I was his age, I was listening to like Ricky Martin or something. I don't know. He's awesome. Jam on Vinyl. He's a new guy on the block, but he's a really nice guy. I've talked to him at length. Really passionate about music. He's got a chair that's almost as cool as mine. So, Jam on Vinyl. So holes that I need to fill in my collection. So this year, early this year, I found the first 4 Black Sabbath albums on Vertigo. and someone offered me a crazy good deal on them, a good price for them, and I sold them. And immediately regretted it. So I've been trying to get back those first 4. So this is volume 4 I've got. I won't go through them all. All the Vertigo labels look the same. But that's volume 4. Here's Paranoid on Vertigo. Here's Self-Titled on Vertigo. And I'm looking for Master of Reality on Vertigo, so I'm cool with whatever pressing, as long as it's got the Vertigo swirl on it. If it's German or whatever, I'm cool with that. Doesn't have to be UK. So that's the one I'm really looking for. Holes I'm trying to fill. Another one is Fleetwood Mac, Mr. Wonderful. I'm looking for the earlier Fleetwood Mac stuff. I've got everything but Mr. Wonderful. It's been hard to find. I need original Stooges Raw Power. I've got the other Stooges originals. Raw Power is the only one I'm missing, which I actually used to have one and sold it. And then there's a couple bootleg sets I'm looking for Led Zeppelin. I need for badge holders only. I sold Volume 1 and Volume 2 a while back. I had them and they're gone. And listen to this Eddie. That's a really good bootleg I've been looking for a real long time. I've never owned it. Hopefully I'll find one. The next category is cheap but good. What is a cheap record that's actually really good? And this one, if you're into psych, this is Frost Music by the Frost. This one's not in great shape. I got this one for $1, so it's on Vanguard. This one's some really, really surprisingly good psych. All these answers are, by the way, some of them I gave a lot of thought to, but this one, the first thing that came to my head when it was, a good record for cheap, and I cannot get that back on there, Lord. But anyways, that one, Frost Music by the Frost. I think you can get one for like $10, maybe 15, but they usually have ringware, but the music's really, really solid, solid psych. Favorite side project, that's got to be Temple the Dog for me. This is an original. This is not an original. This is the purple vinyl reissue, 3-sided music on vinyl reissue. That was killer. I mean, as far as side projects go, I was going to say Traveling Wilburys, but Steve Carlson already did, and I'm sure that's the one that comes to my mind, but that's kind of the second one, just with Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell on the same album, not to mention the rest of Pearl Jam and Soundgarden all messing around on there. That's the best. I love that album. It's so good. Song that's uncharacteristic of the artist's catalog. I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin, Hot Dog. It's like a country song by Led Zeppelin, kind of bizarre if you look at the rest of their catalog. But I love Led Zeppelin, love that song. Most recent record that I bought. This is a Grateful Dead, Veneta, Oregon, August 27, 1972. It's referred to as Sunshine Daydream. That's what I've always called it. But the artwork on this is incredible. This was printed in 2013. I'll show you the inside artwork. I have been looking for this rascal for years, and I really regretted not grabbing it when it was affordable. And just, this is a limited edition of 5,000, so there's 5,000 copies, but it's just one that, it's a crazy good concert. The artwork's awesome. It's a complete package for me, and I just can never find one, and one just crawled into my lap here last week, so that was really, really good. Great album with a bad cover. This one here, this is called Skin Deep by Aftershave. This is a reissue, but this is one that's kind of new to me. I've seen it around a little bit, but never really heard it. I got a really good deal on this reissue and grabbed it. But anyways, this is a great record. I mean, it's really, really Really good psych and prog type of influence on it. It's got some killer riffs on it. Really great. I've listened to it a couple times. Really enjoy it. There's an inner gatefold. So check that out if you're into psych and prog. I saw that cover. I mean, that's not super appealing, but it's great. Just got it, so it's kind of fresh on my mind. This one I bought in a collection not too long ago. When I saw the cover, I was like, oh man, I could just tell it was just like gonna be epic and worth a ton of money. And boy, was I wrong. This is by Jack Niche, St. Giles, Cripplegate. This is one, if you saw, you would grab, because look at that cover. It's like a horse's skull with long hair and snakes coming out of it, and it's just awesome looking. This is classical, and it's not even very good. I've listened to it and just was like, what the heck is this? It's probably good to somebody. Just to me, it's not, and it's not worth anything, so it's kind of a bummer when I found it. Blues album, Electric Mud. This is one I looked for forever, and finally found this awesome copy in some guy's garage. An Earworm song. I've never heard of that expression, earworm, but this is a song that gets stuck in my head. I love it. It's one of my favorite songs, but every time I hear it, it's stuck in my head for a week. This is on Ogden's Nut Gone Flake by the Small Faces. This is the song is Afterglow. I absolutely love this record. It's one of my favorite records. If you've not heard this record, I would strongly recommend it if you're kind of new to psych pop or psych rock or whatever you want to call it. Small Faces, everything they do, I love them. But this is my favorite album by them, so definitely check that out. But that song just gets stuck in my head every time I hear it. Actually, I actually did two on accident for this one, but I'll share them both. Artist that's historically significant is Taj Mahal. This album is more historically significant to me. This album is what inspired, it's a long story, but it's what inspired Dwayne Allman to start playing slide guitar, which changed the world. This album is awesome, but that's why I chose that one. But an artist that's historically significant, I would say, is Les Paul. Les Paul, and I'm sure you guys have all heard one of the most iconic guitars in the world is a Les Paul. I have one. It's great. But Les Paul invented the electric guitar. There's some debate to whether him or Freddie Fender did, but or not Freddie Fender, Leo Fender did. But he did. He beat him to it. That's a scientific fact. Les Paul is awesome. He's an incredible player, and just the guy, his mind was so innovative. There's a video on YouTube somewhere where they went through Les Paul's estate and had a huge auction, and the type of stuff that was in his estate. He was always working until he was an old man. He was always working, always inventing, always all that stuff. I mean, the guy was a genius, incredibly significant in rock and roll history and just history in general. A record that you have because your parents. This one did not come from my parents. I didn't get any records from my parents. I'm not one of my records come from my parents. My parents didn't have any records left. I guess they tossed them all out before I was born. But my mom has a few 45s up in the attic somewhere. I should probably go see what they are, but they're all like singles that are really super popular mainstream stuff. But this is one that we always used to listen to in the car together, me and my parents, from when I was a little kid. Keith Green, he's a Christian artist, but this one is just like super nostalgic for me. I remember like every time we were going on long trips in the car, my dad had this on cassette and he played it. So that's one, just nostalgic for me. I remember it from when I was a small child. The next one, Best Dollar Bin Find. Found this one, and I don't know, this is probably cheating. This one's not in great shape, but it is an original Blue Note of Lee Morgan's Sidewinder. And the vinyl's in good shape. The cover's just kind of beat. But long story on how I got this one. There's a guy that I was at a flea market, and he had everything's $1. So all his records were $1, And I said, hey man, I mean, these are pretty good records. They're not that bad. And he said, man, this is only like a fraction of what I have. I'm trying to sell all my records. I've got a garage full of records. If you want to come over, you can come over. Same deal, everything's $1. So I was like, sure. So later that day, he let me come over. He opened the door, and there had to have been 10, 15,000 records in there. And I mean, I was in there all day pulling stuff out. And that was one that I found was $1. And blew my mind. Favorite double album. If you know me well, you know it's the White Album. So this is Japanese pressing. I've whittled my White Albums down to just a few. I used to have like a lot. This is a US, original US with the serial number. I don't know why I have two. There's another one with the serial number. This one's super nice. This is the White Album on white vinyl. Pretty cool. And then this is the original master recording of the White Album. So this is my favorite double album. A record you heard of from the VC. I mentioned Ron from Hog's Ear Report earlier. He showed this album. I showed this a couple videos ago, my best finds of 2018. But he showed this album kind of when I was first starting to get into the VC. This is Black Cat Bones is the name of the band. Barbed Wire Sandwich is the name of the album. And this, man, I mean, look at that. Look at that cover. This is just killer. I mean, really, really great blues rock. Psychedelic blues rock. I mean, heavy fuzz. Just, I mean, for me, this is almost a perfect album. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. But he shared it, and I was like, man, I would love to have one of those. And I looked forever, couldn't find one. And for years I looked for one, and then last year I finally found a copy. But thank you for recommending that one to me, Ron. I love that. This was a 10-inch record. I had a couple I wanted to choose, like some older blues 10 inches and stuff, but this one's like really cool. This one's The Police. This Regatta de Blanc, I guess you call it. I've never seen a 10-inch of this. This one's a double 10-inch. I bought this in one of the first collections I ever bought, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's on 10-inch. And I kept it just for whatever reason. And I remember when I was loading it up, the guy I bought it from, he had owned a record store in the 80s, and I was like, hey, what's up with this being a 10-inch? I've never seen one like this. And he's like, oh, it's like a promotional thing. But it doesn't say it's promo. I've never seen another one, which is kind of cool. I guess I could probably look it up online, but I kind of forgot I had it until I was looking through my 10 inches. But it's pretty cool. I mean, if you guys have one, let me know if anybody has one or has seen one. It's pretty neat. So, show a 7-inch. This one is the Led Zeppelin Rock and Roll / Friends that came out on Record Store Day here recently. It's on yellow vinyl, but I don't ever go to Record Store Day. I just hate it. I respect it, I get it, but I hate it. I don't want to go. I just don't want to wait in line and all that stuff. And I mean, there's mixed opinions about it. I know it's really great for some people, but it's not for me. And that came out on Record Store Day, and I'm like, you know what? I can't have everything. I can't have every Led Zeppelin thing. I'm really not a completist, if you can believe it. So I was like, I'm not going to go get that. And then afterwards, they kind of went kind of expensive online, and then now they're about $15, but it's just not something I'm going to buy online. I don't know. It was just one of those things. I wanted it, but just didn't want it that bad enough. So, but my friend Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, talked about him earlier. He got one at Record Store Day, and he knew he wouldn't listen to it, so he gave it to me. So, Chris, you're awesome. And then the last one, or not next to the last one, album that you fall asleep to, best album to fall asleep to. I showed this one in my last video. This is Sleeping at Last, Atlas Year 1. This is a 3 LP set. It's on some really sweet color vinyl. I'm not going to pull it out. It's kind of hard to pull it in and out, but this is a really, really awesome record. I discovered this in August on my road trip out west. I've got a lot. I could make a whole video about this album. It means a lot to me. It's incredible. It kind of helped me get out of a groove of not writing songs, back into writing songs. And then when I got home with it, so long story short, a lot of you guys might know, if you followed me for a while, my son's autistic, and he is 5 years old, and for years and years we had so much trouble getting him to go to sleep at night. He's got a magnesium deficiency, so he doesn't sleep like normal kids do. He usually only sleeps like 4 or 5 hours a night, you know, sometimes more, sometimes less. So he just would stay up really late and couldn't get him to go to sleep. Anyways, so the first night we got back, we had some Bluetooth speakers in the living room, and I put this album on the Bluetooth speakers, and it just immediately calmed him. He fell right to sleep, slept 10 or 12 hours. And we're like, what the heck? This is crazy. I mean, that never happens. And so I was like, he must have been really tired, whatever. The next night, he didn't want to go to sleep. I put this on, boom, out. And I'm not joking, that was in August. Now, every night since then, I put that album on, he goes straight to sleep, and he'll sleep 10 or 12 hours. I don't know what it is, but I actually talked to the guy, that Ryan O'Neill from Sleeping at Last. I told him about it, and we talked back and forth about it, and he was really cool about it, but I just said thank you. It was just, you know, for whatever reason, it just calms him down and helps him relax and helps go to sleep. So this one is just, I mean, this album means a lot to me for a lot of different reasons, but something that helps my son out, it hits me close to home. So that's great. And then the last one was kind of favorite VC experience / advice for anyone that's wanting to get into the VC. So I'm not crazy about this whole VC thing. I'm kind of, you know, I love the vinyl community, like what a vinyl community is. Sometimes people get too political about it, and they're like, you're not a member of the VC. And when I first got into the VC, you know, I was like, I did an introduction to the vinyl community, and just said, hey, and told who I was and everything. And I had some people commenting like, we don't need people like you in the VC who are trying to sell records and blah, 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 all this other stuff. And it really discouraged me, and I was like, man, this sucks. And I almost quit. Like, I was like, man, people aren't going to want me to upload videos. They're not going to watch my videos, all that stuff. But you know what? I was like, whatever. I'm going to just keep doing it, and nobody has to watch them. It'll be fun for me to do it, and we'll see where it goes. And this year's been awesome. You know, I had some people in the beginning that were really negative, and then it just kind of, so many people that I met. I mean, I've met so many great friends through this. So all that to say, you know, because you're on the internet and there are people out there that can hide behind a keyboard and a screen, they're going to give you negative feedback. They're going to be mean to you. You know, I can't tell you how many, like, horribly mean negative things I see every day on YouTube. People comment to me, say the meanest stuff, you know, and like, you're such a low life. You buy all these records and sell them, and just stuff like that all the time, all this negative stuff. Thing is that, like, I love all the videos I see from people talking about records on YouTube. I absolutely love it. I don't think you can really do it wrong. I mean, if you're showing records and I want to see records, you're doing it. You know, so my advice to you is to just stop. I mean, for years I didn't want to do it because I was like, nobody's going to want to watch my videos. No one gives a crap about what I'm doing. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it and see how it goes, and people like it. And it's as much for me as it is for anybody else. I like talking about records, and not a whole lot of people in my life really care to talk about records, except for people that I do pop-ups with twice a month. So, anyways, all I have to say, if you're waiting on it and you're like, I don't know if it's going to be good, I don't know if people are going to be receptive to it, just do it. If you don't like it, don't do it anymore, but just do it. Just get out on a limb, record a few videos, and from what I've seen, there's some of the kindest people on YouTube doing vinyl community stuff, and you know, don't be intimidated. It's not a country club. You don't have to have a membership. You don't get a card. You don't pay a fee. You know, just be a part of the community. Some people take it too seriously, and they're like, "Oh, you're not a member of the VC, and the VC doesn't need the VC this and that." It's not all that. the VC is like really nice people, like just, you know, Vinylverse Bill, just the nicest guy in the world. You know, Value Vinyl, that guy, nicest guy in the world. Earhead 6 Bo, nicest guy in the world. They give you the shirt off their back. All those guys. I'm just naming off people that I've made friends, you know, here recently. But just like I said, if you're waiting on something, don't just stop waiting. Just upload a video, see if you like it. If you don't like it, don't do it anymore. But I think everybody really likes to see new people come in and kind of find their own way. And I'm a new guy. I mean, I've only been here. I've been doing this less than a year. So, anyways, thank y'all for watching. I hope this didn't go on too long. Final tag videos always go too long for me. I always blah blah blah, talk. But anyways, see y'all next time. Peace.